Yes, we can see it now.
Thank you.
Not yet.
Okay. Kindly inform me when you're able to see it. Are we able to see my screen now?
Yes, I can see it
Yes.
from this side.
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Welcome once more. So we'll dive into the presentation. So, youth mappers. So our main motto as youth mappers is we don't just build maps.
Sorry to stop you. Like, I still can't see your screen.
You still can see my screen.
No.
Who else can see my screen? Hello, who else can see my screen? Or is it just is it Rose?
For me, I can see your screen. Maybe just try resharing it again.
Okay. Okay, I'm sharing it again now. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Is it Rose who was unable? Are you able now?
Yeah, I can see now.
Great. Thank you. Yeah, so yeah, like I was saying, our main motto as youth mappers is that we don't just build maps, but we build mappers. So every map that you've seen doesn't just come into existence. Someone sat behind the computer and designed it. So as youth mappers, we teach each other on how to do that work. So some of our major funders are the USAID. Yeah, we are mostly funded by USAID in most of the projects that we do. Geo Center, the George Washington University, the Arizona State University. Yeah, and like I said, we are mostly funded by USAID. So who are we? Who are the youth mappers? So youth mappers is a global community of students, researchers, educators, and scholars that use open geospatial technologies to highlight and directly address development challenges. So we are actually a community that is made up of students, researchers, and educators, as well as scholars. Some people say Youth Mappers is actually a movement because it keeps on growing in numbers every day. We have sessions where we recruit individuals, new members in the community. So it's actually a movement that grows by the day. So Youth Mappers is envisioned to fulfill the demand for open geospatial data access in all parts of the world. Currently, there is limited access to data in many parts of the world. So, as Youth Mappers, we are envisioning a situation where we'll be able to have all access of data across the globe. We are now a worldwide network of over 240 students, 240 student-led chapters and growing. So our chapter is going to be added on these 240 student-led chapters. Of course, the number is going to keep on increasing. So the spatial data that they create or we create and the research that they conduct is made publicly available through open platforms such as OpenStreetMapping. Yeah, so as you can see, these are some of the chapters that we have across the globe. They are distributed across the globe. In each continent there is a chapter. So what is OSM? Like I said, data that is produced by the youth mappers is made accessible on OSM and is public, and it can be used by anyone. So OpenStreetMap is a free, open editable map of the world built by a global community of mapping collaborators. So we are the collaborators that create this OSM editable map. Some people say it's a database that is accessible by everyone, of course. So the OpenStreetMap project can be found on this link. We are going to go in details when we do the practice for creating the OpenStreetMap account. So OpenStreetMap allows us to capture information about features in physical landscape, such as roads, rivers, buildings, forests, and water bodies. So this is some of the data that we will be uploading as YouthMappers on OSM. So as you can see, this data touches all aspects of our communities, and it's made use of by everyone in our community, including us students, those of us from geomatics engineering, those of us who are urban and regional planners, those of us who are from forestry. You can see we have each and every data set on OpenStreetMap, which is actually a very good thing, and it's good that we are collaborating and coming together to create this data, because it's accessible by everyone, and it's made use of by not only us students, but by also the public and the government officials in most cases. So what do OpenStreetMap communities use for mapping? So in most cases, we use GPSs, we use mobile data collection tools such as Kobo Collect, we use Android or smartphones, we also use drones. So these are some of the tools that we use in collecting these data sets. Also use we also digitize on different satellite images, as we are going to see later on when we dive into the practice exercise. Yeah, so this is the platform of OpenStreetMap. This is how it looks. As you can see here on the top corner there, the mapper here is Eric Tamba, who is our regional ambassador, and we're glad to have him on this call. He's the one who was mapping here. This is generally how the platform looks, and we are going to have a personal experience when we dive into the exercise. So OpenStreetMap is made up of different communities. It is made up of a number of communities that includes contributors and local regional communities, data consumers, humanitarian groups, and developers. So us as YouthMappers, we fall mostly in the contributors community, which is the people who add or update the map data on OpenStreetMap. The other community that we have is the data consumers, and these are different companies, organizations, as well as government researchers and individuals who use OpenStreetMap data for any number of uses, such as transportation, routing, GPS navigation, healthcare, disaster risk management, city planning, cartographic municipal services, academic research, and many more, to mention just a few. We also have developers who are coders and designers who use OpenStreetMap to make tools like routing, data editing, quality assurance, and project management. So we actually need people who are doing computer science on the team also. So as we advocate for our chapter, we should remember to recruit people who are doing computer science, because there's space for them here also. The other community is the humanitarian groups. So many organizations create new map data and use existing OpenStreetMap data to support their projects, either for planning and preparation, logistics or responses. So humanitarian groups are usually groups that tend to help or benefit the welfare of us, the people. One of the organizations that is a humanitarian group is HOT, which is a humanitarian OpenStreetMap team. It is also one of the big groups that funds YouthMappers chapters. So OSM and humanitarian OpenStreetMap team, how do these two collaborate and what are they all about? So the humanitarian community was one of the earliest adopters of the OpenStreetMap. So maps play an important role in situational awareness when it comes to both long-term development and emergency responses, emergency response missions. So what is an aftermath of the 17th January 2010 Haiti volcano? A brief history of the Haiti volcano is that in 2010, specifically 12th January, there was a volcano in Haiti. This volcano, at least a number of people died. A lot of people, at least an estimation of over 1,500 people died. So what happened was after this volcano erupted, government came in to try and bring in help or aid to the citizens of Haiti. But what happened was that all the houses and buildings were demolished by the volcano, and there was no way of knowing how many people lived in Haiti. So a group of people out there who are mappers collaborated and tried to map the existing buildings of Haiti using the previous satellite images that were on the internet. So they mapped the buildings that were there, and they were able to provide the data that was needed by the government officials in Haiti. And that became the beginning of HOT, or the Humanitarian OpenStreetMap team. So the people who collaborated or who grouped up to create this data continued providing data sets for various disasters that came after, that continued coming after. We know disasters, you can never be ready for a disaster. Disasters just happen there and then, and so we have to be ready. And in doing so, that's why we are conducting these mapping exercises, so that we can provide data sets for humanitarian purposes and also for development-based purposes, because the government also needs these data sets for development reasons. So OpenStreetMap allows response and development workers to contribute first-hand knowledge to the map, often with the direct participation of the local community. So we are the local community in this case who provide these data sets. So what opportunities are there for us in YouthMappers? What opportunities are there for us as students in YouthMappers? So students in YouthMappers, which is basically you and me, will be able to broaden their geographic knowledge of the environments where they live in. For example, if they tell you to map the place where you were born, like your hometown or your home village, to put in information on OpenStreetMap, you'll be able to put in the names of the roads, the names of the streams, your houses, and all the necessary information that is needed on OSM. In doing so, you get to familiarize yourself. You get to know your place very well. But you also have opportunities of mapping places that you've never been. And so in doing so, you also get to know such places and what exists in those places. So you also gain new marketable technology skills. So in the YouthMappers chapter, we do have sessions where we are trained about different technology skills. That includes of open source data tools and many skills that you might need as you graduate school going into the industry. So we do have these sessions, and going forward, we're going to be sharing these sessions with you guys. So you also practice transformative leadership. You'll be given an opportunity to lead and have a view of what it takes to be a leader. You'll be able to lead in the YouthMappers chapter and in many other platforms that we have for you in store. So you are also going to adopt new perspectives of global citizenship. So we're also going to achieve a deeper understanding of development in their own communities and around the world, because these data sets that we provide are really, really useful in terms of development. So we are going to have a deeper understanding of this aspect also as YouthMappers. So these are some of the YouthMapper leaders that we have And yeah, I should also mention that you are also going to have an opportunity to meet different people across the globe. You are going to meet different people in Africa. You're going to meet different people in Europe and America. A lot of people as we are going to as we are going forward. We actually do have monthly mapathons where we do meet as Youth Mappers Africa, and in that we have individuals from different countries of Africa meeting to map a specific country. So I don't know which country that will be mapping this coming month, but definitely you get to know of that, and we'll be looking forward to having you on such sessions. So this is the end of our introduction of the Youth Mappers, and as of now we are going to dive direct into questions and answers. For those of us who have questions, would I think I'll allow a few questions in the interest of time, because the practice session is a bit long and involving. We are going to be asked to share our screens as we go forward. So those of us who have questions, I think now is the time we can ask our questions, please. Questions, concerns, or contributions, I really look forward to hearing from you guys. It's important that I get some feedback. Contributions, or what you expect from these sessions that we are going to be having, or what you expect to achieve by joining the Youth Mappers chapter. Please come on board and say something. Okay, if told there are no questions, we will go direct into, or maybe people are still thinking. Are people there? Are we there, guys? Are you able to hear me? Maybe they're under Finnick. Sorry, Eric. That's Benga from
We
us.
are able to
We're
hear
getting you.
Okay, that's great. That's great.
We can get you.
All right. So I'll ask once more. Those of us who have OSM user accounts, we can share our details in the chat box. Those of us who already have OSM user accounts, we can share our OSM usernames, because we'll need those records. I'm sure our secretary is taking note of everyone who is on the call. So if at all there are no questions, we are now going to go direct into the other session, which is going to be creating of OSM accounts and mapping with ID editor. So I will pass it over to our regional ambassador at this juncture, Mr. Eric Tamba. Over to you, sir.
Yes, thank you so much. I hope everyone can hear me. Yeah.
Yes, you're coming
thank you,
out loud and clear.
Thank you. So thank you so much, Mr. Chore. There's a lot of information that you provided in your presentation from who are youth mappers and their opportunities. So I'll just dive in to share some tips as well, and go straight to the process where everyone from this call can have an OSM username and get started mapping. And along the way, through the process, you can achieve these opportunities that we're talking about. So let me just share my screen. Let me know if you can see my screen. I think it's coming. Yeah. So can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yes,
Awesome.
please.
Yes, okay. So let me just start from the beginning. So what actually Mr. Chole was talking about is we are working on open data technologies, in that we provide data, someone can contribute data and the other one can use data. So whenever you need that data, your contribution matters. And in order to use the data, we expect more volunteers to keep on mapping. So this project is a collaborative project from those groups that Mr. Chole tried to present. So just imagine you have Google Maps that we are all aware of and OpenStreetMap. So at this moment, OpenStreetMap has been so helpful, and this overlay has been used in a lot of websites, and it has proven to be very advantageous. Simply as Mr. Chole just demonstrated, it's a free editable geographic database of the world, and anyone can add, edit, and use the data to OpenStreetMap. So currently there are more than 8 million plus users, including the YouthMappers community in there. So having an OSM username makes you one of those more than 8 million people that are volunteering and contributing to this open data. So the necessary tip is that when we're doing that, it's basically we are adding where and what. Like when I'm talking about where, I mean the geographical location of that feature, and what is the tag or description of that feature. If it is a school, if it's a road, or let's say a building, all that. So basically, as we will dive into the mapping, the basic things that we'll be mapping, the main features are the points, lines, and polygons. So just naming a few, a point can be a tree or a name tag of a location. And lines features can be roads or rivers, all those waterways. And also polygons can be buildings, a playground, all that. So if you note here is that when you have a point, 2 points aligned together, you form a line. Then in a closed group, we have what we call a polygon. So it's just a simple way of adding those features. It has been simplified in that manner. So this, for instance, we have this interface of the OpenStreetMap website where we contribute. And at this moment, you see that there are some lines in here. So those are the lines or traces, I mean the roads network that are added. But from here, you can notice a little bit of difference that here there's no mapping that I mean, there was few contribution of those features, but here you can see the polygons, buildings mapped, the railways, all those points, features that are tagged in here. So that's how we develop OpenStreetMap. So it can turn from this to this through your contribution. So as one of the contributors that the community is YouthMappers that Chole has spoken about. So he mentioned there's 240 more chapters, but currently I just notify you, as he said, they are growing. So currently there are 3,009 plus chapters. So 309, sorry guys. So it's 309 chapters and growing every day. So each chapter that joins, then the network grows. So currently, for instance, here it's a closer look of where I am from, Tanzania. We have almost 17 chapters. And I can see at the bottom here, we have tried to display Copperbelt University as the YouthMapper chapter, among the YouthMappers chapter there. So in order to be more involved, the chapter should have that participation in the network, connecting with other chapters in implementing their own ideas or attaining those skills. So yeah, let's just dive into the starting mapping, like how do you start? So the first thing, you need to have an OpenStreetMap account. So if you have that, well and good. If you don't have that, you should not worry. We are beginning that process in a moment. So before diving in that, let me just go to the YouthMappers website. I hope everyone can see that and try to share some tips, because this website is your website as a YouthMapper. It's your website where you can find opportunities, share ideas, all that. So in this place where it's highlighted as a blog, it's where you can share your experiences. So you can see here some people sharing their experiences. Like let's say this one is from Google University. He's saying high experiences with YouthMappers, and he's a third year student pursuing Bachelor of Science. So there are a lot of stories that you can learn from other chapters, what they are doing, so that even your chapter can become recognized in the network. So here are all the tools that you need. For instance, this is a press kit. It can tell you everything about the YouthMappers. And here are those opportunities and awards. And you can find your regional ambassador from here. And also, I just want to share something before I dive into that. So there are what we call opportunities. So in the YouthMappers network, opportunities varies from individual basis to the chapter. So you can have that field programs that the chapter do at large, like data collection, all that, and also these individual opportunities. So for instance, like being a regional ambassador, having those research fellowship opportunities, leadership fellowship, they are all mentioned here. And also there is Everywhere She Maps program, where female are motivated and within the chapter. So female involvement on the chapter. So under this initiative called Everywhere She Maps program. And also here you can find the chapter listing and as well as resource library. So I think I don't want to go so much deep on that. So this is your website. You can interact it anytime that you want, and where you face difficulties, we are here. Mr. Chomba, the previous regional ambassador, is here. Mr. Chole, and anyone who is familiar can let you know through this website. So the opportunities, as I mentioned, fieldwork program is here, research fellowship is here, and leadership fellowship is down there, and you can read more about those. And Let Girls Map is that Everywhere She Maps program. So in order to participate, first you need to get started. So that's what we are going to do. So by clicking this link here, you can find, if you are trying to register a new chapter through that process, I can help, but actually the link or the Google form to fill is just down here. So if you have a friend from any university and you see that this opportunity will be great for her or for the university, you can recommend or you can share this form so that they can fill. If they have any difficulties, regional ambassadors are here to support you through the application. So so after doing that, like we have the chapter at Copperbelt, that's the first step that you did. And the next step is mapping your campus. So it's where you the chapter can start the activity. So everything, if you have noted me clearly, they are stated in the website. So we can support that to allocate you this session are highly recommended. So to start mapping, actually, we need to have an OpenStreetMap account. So through here is there's a link attached. So start mapping. So if I click this link, I'll just go to OpenStreetMap. So this will be the interface, first thing you see on OpenStreetMap. So let me just zoom into the world. Yeah, so this is the OpenStreetMap. So you zoom into the location that you want. So before starting that, I just want to share some few tips on this interface. So here we have option in the far right. We have a login and sign up. So you log in case you have an OpenStreetMap account. So that's you just click login, and if you don't have, then you will go to sign up. So I think it's wise to go directly there in saving time. So when you click sign up, I think if you don't have, you can start that. It's very easy. You can do it on your mobile phone as well as on your PC. So if you have difficulty in internet, so you can do it anytime. Like you just have to open OpenStreetMap on your browser, and here it is. You just click sign up. So you'll put first your email. So yeah, I have mine. So I will not save this. So here I will put my email address. So you should remember your email address as well as your password for your email. It's very important. So here we have OSM display name. So this display name is what we call the OSM username. So I want to explain also something here as it's noted. I think, yeah. So in the OSM username, we say the OSM username is more case sensitive. I mean the letters that you try to put. So for instance, my name is, I mean my OSM username is Eric. Eric Tamba. This is what I chose at first place as Eric Tamba. It's written this way. There's no here. I mean the second word. I mean the second name is not capital. So whatever you input here, even the spacing matters. So remember your OSM username correctly. So it's very case sensitive that when you didn't have, let's say, a space in between, and later on you say, I mean, someone asks you to provide OSM username and you provide it with a space, that's wrong. So please make sure the OSM username that you will be registered with here, you remember it very correctly, and it's very case sensitive. So another thing is the password. So this is where you choose your own password for signing up. That password will help you to log in. So like you put your first password and you confirm that you put the same password that you entered here. So after that, you just sign up, click sign up. So after clicking sign up, what will happen is that they will send you a confirmation email to your email address that you put it here. And after that, you confirm that, then you have your OpenStreetMap. You have your OSM username. And that OSM username will be something that you wrote here, and you just need that as well as the password, or you will also need an email and the password, all that. So if you haven't had the OpenStreetMap account, simply you can have that in those few steps. Maybe I'll just welcome some questions, just 2 or 3 in let's say 2 minutes. Then I'll proceed with the next step, if it's okay, Mr. Chore, please.
Any questions, guys? Any questions you can ask on the creating of the OSM account? Any questions?
Or if you have started that process and you see there's something like you don't understand in there, please let me know.
Maybe I should ask, how many of us are actually creating OSM accounts right now?
Well, the two of us were trying here.
Okay, awesome.
Also trying.
Yeah, if you are creating an OSM account, you can text with 1 in the inbox so that we know how many are actually doing the actual work right now. If you already have an OSM account, you can text with 2 in the inbox.
Yeah, sure, that will help. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. Keep on typing 1 and 2. If in case you have OSM username, type 2. If you don't have, type 1, and let us know your progress on having that OSM username. So that's very important for you to get started mapping. Yeah. It's more like any account that you open, let's say Facebook account or that Instagram. So in order to use that, to start using that service, you need to sign up. So that's what we're doing. So please, in order to start mapping, you need to have that OSM account. So yeah.
Yeah, let's also remember to share our contact details. We are going to be needing the phone numbers. We really need the phone numbers. Let's also remember to share them in the chat.
Yeah, so anyone who has successfully had an OSM username until now can just unmute and say, yeah, wow, I have one. I know it takes, it depends on the internet speed, so it takes almost 5-10 minutes. So I think we should let that have that. I mean, Mr. Chori, how do you suggest? Do we have to leave almost 5 minutes for that to?
Yeah, maybe. Yes, let's confirm, guys. How many of us have actually managed to create one, or how are we still needing some more time for creating? So we have to move at the same pace. So if we've managed, then we
yeah.
yes,
We
Rose.
have
I'm
sent
still waiting for my confirmation.
but like
Oh,
confirm.
Yamikana says he's waiting for confirmation email. What about you, Rose?
I'm also waiting for an email, so I'm about to go check.
Okay, awesome.
Kabu Masinga, you're also creating your account. How far have you gone? Kabu. So I'm going through the chat. I've seen those who've typed one. So ask you one by one for the confirmation.
So Joan says, I need help. Please, can you just pick it out, please? Help on the registration. Let me just also send the link of signing up on the chat. I think that will help.
Yes, please.
So,
Hello,
so I have sent the link on the chat. So just click that link and start putting your credentials in there.
It's ending at 19.
Oh, Joan, what did you mean by the help? Is that helpful? Please let me know.
We'll sort it out. But meeting, then I'll call you. I'll call you back. Rose, you said you are creating one with your friend?
Yeah, my friend is also doing the same, but unfortunately, our email is not yet here.
Yamikana has received.
Okay, it's finally here now.
Awesome, nice.
Awesome.
Thank you, Amikana. You can proudly share your OSM username on the chat so that you can have a look at it. And Joan. Thank you so much. Also, that's just share that link there.
Emma Nonde, how far have you gone? Ochiwe Tokowe, how far?
I think I've managed to create an account. I just really don't know. So basically, you're trying to say that the name that you put when you are trying to create an account, is that the OSM username account, or is there a specific one that they give?
No, okay. You have in that option where you it's written display name. So that name that you try to register there, like putting that name, that's your OSM username. So by saying so, it may be in a certain coincidence, it may happen that your name is existing. Like let's say someone just typed in Eric, all that. So maybe someone just used that name. So like just try to accept any name that is recommended, but If you have one that it's not already taken, then that's okay. So I think most of them have used their real names, like Yamikana Daka has already successful. Okay, had that OSM username. So
Well, then I've created an account. I was just a little bit confused about it, but thank you.
yeah, awesome. And you'll be needing that name as well as the password. I think you remember both.
Yes, I do. I remember both.
So share them and proudly share them on the chat. I think the
The
secretary will be
username only.
chat. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, Rose, thank you so much. Account successfully. Kabu, well done.
Ochiwe, Dokowe, how far have you gone, Rose? Thank you.
I'm still waiting for the confirmation.
Yeah, yeah, it takes a while.
Yeah, you can keep on refreshing your Gmail, your
Yeah,
inbox. Keep on refreshing it.
yeah.
Cyrus Kazadi, how far have you gone, sir? Cyrus,
Yeah.
are you there?
So we are almost 3 minutes to the next hour. So Mr. Chole, what do you suggest? I think should we give it 5 minutes more or?
Yeah, I think maybe just 3 more minutes until the next 3 minutes we can proceed to the next session.
Awesome.
The practice. Evans.
I think I've managed to create an account, but I just don't know how to go about it.
Okay, great. If you've managed, that's awesome. I think how to go about it, that will be the next part we'll be talking about.
Okay, Mr. Cholwe, I've managed to create mine and I've received the confirmation.
Great.
So if you have done that, please share your OSM usernames in the chat.
All right.
Yeah.
Yamikani.
I have managed to create mine. Everything is all good.
That's great. Awesome. Please share your details. I need confirmation. Madam Secretary, are you there?
Yes, Cholo, I'm here.
Okay, thank you. I'm sure you are doing the work down there.
Yes.
Thank you.
I have managed to create one.
Okay, great.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think we've verified from everyone on the list who are actually creating one.
Okay, thank you so much. If you have your OSM username and your password, please try remembering them. If not, if you have your own device, just tap in remember me. Okay, we'll have that demonstrated. So let's just dive in the second session. Second part actually of the second session. So let me just share my screen again. Awesome. Can everyone see my screen?
Yeah, we can see it.
Awesome. Okay. So just a moment. Yeah. So after having that after having your OSM username, so the first thing that you'll need is to go back to OpenStreetMap. So it's just the same thing. You just type in OpenStreetMap on your engine, search engine. So clicking this, it will bring you back here to OpenStreetMap. So yeah, it's the same thing. So I'll demonstrate just few tips. I'll proceed with that. So the first thing that you will need is to log in. So now that you have your OpenStreetMap account, so you click login there. So after clicking login, here it's where you write your OpenStreetMap username. This is mine, so you can either put your email address or your username. So my username is that one, and my password is here. So when logging in, if you have, if that device is yours, and you know, like you may be using OpenStreetMap regularly, you just click remember me here, so that next time you log in like I did here, everything is there. I just click login. So you can proceed with that. So if you log in, make sure after that you'll see your OSM username here. So leave behind this picture here is just setting up your profile. So just make sure it's written your username there, and you have that's your OSM account. So a yes if you have managed to log in, if it's okay. Mr. Chore, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yeah, those of us who've managed to log in, proceed to the
Please.
next stage. I think we can confirm with a three in the chat.
Awesome.
You
So
can type a 3.
yeah. So after having that, I think we can get started being familiar with the OpenStreetMap interface. So I'll just go on the important tips at first. So as I said, we can't cover everything in one session, but as you proceed attending these sessions, there's OSM Africa, there is a room for beginners where you can increase your skills. There are YouTube tutorials. In the YouthMappers, there are resource libraries, and there are a lot of details in the internet. So just use that wisely. If you want to search, you just search and get that. So let's get started.
Sorry, Mr.
Yes?
Eric, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
My friend is trying to create an account, but it's written on the display username.
Yes.
It's stating trailing white space, has trailing white space. What is she supposed to do in order for her to sign up?
It has what? Sorry.
A trailing white space.
Mr. Chori, can you help with that? I think I've not had them.
Are you able to share your screen?
Okay, yeah.
The problem it's not mine. It's a friend of mine who's trying to create an account.
In the display name, it says there is what?
Yes, there is a trailing white space.
A trailing white space. Yeah, sure. I think either from the starting of that name, it may be there's a space, or in the front of that name. So try checking out the cursor and deleting backwards from the start of the name. That I think,
okay.
Yeah, sure.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
that I think would help. If it helps, please. If it doesn't, please not fire us as well. No problem.
Lochua has managed. Deborah has also managed to log in.
Okay, awesome.
How about others, guys? Can confirm with a 3 in the chat. Great, Yamikani has also managed. Awesome, Evans.
Yeah, so I think let us proceed.
Yes, please.
So after logging in, make sure you have your OSM username on the far right here. And to get started mapping, I just want to share, on this far right, as I move along my cursor, you can see when you put your cursor or your hand on the tab there, it says zoom in, zoom out, show my location, layers, all that. So I'm going to start with zooming in. It's just simple. So it's very comfortable using OpenStreetMap on your PC than mobile phones. Yeah, and also when having a mouse, it's really easy to do the mapping. So if you click zoom in, you see it can allows you to zoom in to the closer, to the location where you want to map. Zooming out moves you far from that location. So also placing the cursor on the map here, it shows a hand where you can move around to a place where you want to go. So this is all about the navigations. If you have a mouse, you just scroll in and scroll out. That's zoom in, zoom out. and move around with that by like clicking on the mouse, so that you can, let's say, choose a place or that. So please, if you are near your if you have a mouse, please just do that. It will feel very, very comfortable, and you feel overwhelmed, like yes, I'm ready to start mapping, I'm ready to go to my location to do that, to start the mapping process, all that. So this is what the navigation looks like. So also, when you're zoomed out at this level, you can on the far left here, where there's OpenStreetMap logo. Here you can see that when you want to edit, it says zoom in to edit the map. So you need to be closer enough in order to see the features as well as start mapping. So let me just go somewhere. Copperbelt. All right, just can I search it and find it? So here is a search bar here on the far, so you can search the location where you want to. Let me see. Copperbelt. Sorry, is it written like this? Copperbelt.
Copperbelt, yes.
Oh, yeah, I think somewhere here. No problem. Just want to, so from your interface, you can zoom into any place that you wish to map. So it can be your area, your known area. So like here, there's a lot being done. So let me just go to a place where I'm familiar with. So in your side, you can do that as well. So let's say here I have this location here, if I can. So if you're zoomed in closer enough like this, you can see now the edit tab is activated here. So after having that activated, you can click this one like a drop down arrow. So from here, it says edit with ID editor, all this, and the second one, edit with remote control, JOSM, all those other editors. So what do we mean by editor? Editor is something, as its name, it helps you to do the mapping process. So while you're starting mapping or beginning to start mapping, we recommend to use this ID editor. As more you get involved and more experienced you are, you can find more tools that are more efficient, more friendly, and really fast to help you do the process. So basically, we start the walkthrough with what we call ID editor. So if you are new to OpenStreetMap, at first when you log in, it will show either edit now or the walkthrough. So you can take the walkthrough that I'm demonstrating. So it's just the same. The walkthrough is what I'm demonstrating right now. And if you're more experienced, you can just click edit now and proceed with that process. So here in this drop down, I'll just click ID editor like this. So doing that, so I had my changes. Oh, sorry. So doing that, I think if you click that, it will say like take the walkthrough or edit now. So I've chosen just to edit now because I've been using that. So if you're new, you can just click also edit now because the walkthrough is what I'm doing now. And if you like have problems in that, it's just in this right corner at this let's say here in the help, you can get everything that you need and start the walkthrough as well. So from that side, I think this, after clicking edit with ID editor, this is what happens. Like we have the background layer where Mr. Chole tried to demonstrate that mappers or volunteers, including the youth mappers, just trace features from the satellite imagery as the background layer. So whatever you draw here is added to OpenStreetMap. So like, let me just say, okay, OpenStreetMap. So, sorry. OpenStreet. Okay, sorry. OpenStreetMap, yeah, here it is. So what I was trying to say is that here you have this layer. This is OpenStreetMap layer, but in this where you are editing, it's kind of different to see the real world features. So from here, when you draw anything, it appears like this on this OpenStreetMap, the other OpenStreetMap layer. So in that said, I think let's just proceed with the action. So for instance, from this, so let's start editing. And I said from my presentation, we simply have three kind of basics in editing. So we either add a point, here it is. We add a line, so like it's demonstrated when you put your cursor, it displays like here it says add restaurants, monuments, post boxes, or other points to the map. So that may include trees, may include your location, just like this one here. And lines, here you add roads, streets, footpath, canals, or other lines to the map. And here it's a polygon, or it's referred as the area where you add parks or buildings, lakes, or other areas to the map. So that's simply how it's done, but let's dive in on how to start mapping. So what you need, zoom in closer enough, as I just demonstrated that. Zooming in is just like this. And so by doing that, I think after doing that, after doing that, you just load in. Zoom in enough. Sorry, yeah. Like for instance, you can see these features here. So I can find here it's a building, here it's a tree, and yeah. So let's start with the first thing. Let's start mapping a building. So for instance, here I can find a building. Yeah, even this is a building. So how do I tell that this is a building? In some occasions, it's very difficult to say. So from different aspects, for instance, we have the roofs, rooftops, like you can see others are white roof, others are blue, others are this kind, brown, all that. So another thing that can tell you that this is a building from the shadow that is cast down here, you can say that this is a building. So those are more technicalities that you, when you continue getting involved with more experienced mapper, attending events, all that, you can learn more. Like let's say we have a building and there is a tree crossing, how do we map that? So getting started with mapping, like you zoom in closer enough where you can see the building clearly. Then after that, you click this area. So if you click that, it's highlighted in blue that now you're mapping a building. When you do that, the cursor changes and it becomes like a plus sign. So I'm checking it, there's a hand. If I check, we have that cursor, like it changes, it's ready for editing. So you go to the first corner of that building, you right click to that corner, then you go to the next corner here, you right click, and then you right click on the next corner, and also on the last corner now that you're finishing your editing, your building edit, you just double click, right click twice. That's double click on the so I'm double clicking on my that's will do. So after doing that, that's what you added. That's what we call the where aspect of OpenStreetMap. You have added where that building is, the geographical location of that building. So what of that feature, sorry. So what next is we want to define that feature, and that's what we call tagging. That we want to say like, what did we add? So an area can be a building, can be a house, can be a football pitch, can be a lake, all that. So after that, we need to tag it. On your far left here, you can see where you can set different tags. So this is the aspect of what in OpenStreetMap, that what have you added there? That's very important. So you can simply, like if you have, like you know what you added. If it's simply a building that you have added and you don't know that if it's a shop or that, so just end by mapping a building. A person who is more experienced and is familiar with that area can also come to that building that you edited and can add different attributes. So for instance, when we want to tag this feature that I've added here as a building, we just type in building. So it will be highlighted here first. So you just click that I've added a building. So the feature will be already tagged as a building. So after tagging as a building, on your far left, right, sorry, you'll see that you have made one edit. One edit is ready to be saved. So also, when we add these buildings, we highly recommend that don't forget to place letter Q. And this is because when everyone tries to digitize, it may happen that the building is not squared or that. So you can do that squaring either by left clicking on one corner and using this like the square, it can become a square. Or let me just do this. So if you highlighted that one by pressing Q, sorry, yeah, it becomes a square. Let me just also do that. Q, so that's it says that it's already squared, all that. So after that, your edit is ready to be uploaded. So let's just add the second one real quick. So I hope everyone is following along and doing that. So I've added this building. I've selected, I remember tagging that as a building and pressing Q. So I have my building squared. And the third one, let me just add this one in one corner. At the last corner, I double click, I add a building, and then I press Q, then my building is squared. So that's how easily we trace these kind of features on OpenStreetMap. So I tag it as a building and press Q. So for now, I've made almost 4 edits here. You can see them there. So let's go to the next thing, that attribute, that is what we call a point.
Okay, there's a question from Cosmos.
Oh, yeah, sure.
He's saying, I have a question on the point in line. What happens if you want to map a continuous straight line or power line that has lines and points?
As lines and points, yeah, awesome. That is really possible, and it was something that I was jumping to. So let's just proceed with that. So I've already demonstrated on the area aspect. So let's say we want to add a point. So adding a point means you add, let's say, a restaurant. That we call it as a specific point, a reference point. Like, let's say you can write a name of that place. So for instance, adding a point by clicking a point, and let's say I know this location, for instance, here. This is a building, right? So I can add a point, let's say at this area, and that point, it refers to, like, let's say it's a name of something. So for instance, this point is, what did you add? As I said, when you add something, you need to tag it. So I added a point to refer as, let's say, let me just, and you want to, okay, sorry. I just want to add first a tree, then we come to that aspect. So in order to delete anything, just press Control Z as a shortcut. Control Z as a shortcut. So let me just take a point and refer to, let's say this, a tree. Let me just take here. So let me just go to, yeah, I'm finding a different tree. Yeah, so for instance here, I take that as a point. So what have I added? I just search, I know that that's a tree. So I just, it's here, that's a tree feature, then that's perfect. So in other aspect, let's say you want to add let's say this is a restaurant, and you know that place that is a restaurant. So like you want to name it, you can name the building direct from there. Like when you select it, on your far left you have the building, and there are other options like the name, if it's a building, if it's under construction, all that. So for instance, you know the name, you can simply type it here. But if you don't know that the name of that, is simply just leave it as a building, so that anyone who's familiar can come and edit that. So for instance, also let me come to this here. So for instance, someone just added a point here and named us here. It's where there is a factory, right? So like let's say something else. Maybe you have a bus stop, all that. So let's say here we have this load. So I'm referring to the power line question. You have points in the line, like referring to that. So for instance here, along the road, you will have, let's say, a bus stop. Let's say and drive and let's say so let's say bus stop. So you can see how it appears. That's just a bus stop. If you know the name, you can simply type that. But I don't know if this is correct, so I can't save that. And yeah, I think if I've answered you correct on the aspect of a point, but if I proceed to a continuous line, so a line can be I'm finding. So in order to do that, you need to find, so for instance here, I will have, let's say there's this node here, and you can see there's a path entering to the main way. So in order to add a line, it's simply, that's how you do, you click a line, and when you're trying to join that, you can start from that point, like that line there, tracing it correctly, and intersecting the secondary road. At the end of any edit, please right click twice, so it becomes highlighted for you to tag it. So here, by tagging that, for instance, we know from the main load, we have, let's say, it can be a residential load or a secondary load. So all those tips, like how to map this at this, you need to know the correct tagging, and how to enhance your capability in correct tagging. You need to have, let's say, these trainings, read a lot of resources, and also I'll type the OpenStreetMap wiki for tagging in the chat so that it can help you in tagging process. So for instance, here I say it's a residential load. So yeah, so I named it as a residential load, but I can also refer, like, yeah, of course, it is tagged as a residential load, so that's not a problem because it's neither a tertiary, it's, So how do I know that? I know it from the OpenStreetMap tagging system, and I'll share that in the with the link so that you can follow along in your own time. So simply after adding all those things, here I have the saved. So I've made almost 7 edits ready to be saved in the far right here. So after doing that, I think what you do, just click save. So after clicking that save, you'll need to make a change set comment here. So this is very important to let the other mapper that comes, let's say, to modify or to edit your edits, or to improve the edits that you made, can know, like, what did you do, or what do you want him to know about the edits that you did. So simply, let's say, for instance, I say added buildings and let's say residential load at Ifakala town. It can be something like that, or anything that you want another mapper to know, like what you did. So that's added. So after having that written there, I think You can also add some source tags like which imagery did you use, let's say being all that. So after that, yeah, when you have your change set comment ready there, the upload button is activated there. So simply, if everything is okay, if you have any, like any errors, they may be displayed here. Like maybe you forget tagging, all that. So if everything is okay, you just click upload, and the upload changes will go to OpenStreetMap. So in time, you'll get that in the far left that your edit. Thank you for improving the map around this location in Tanzania, and you have your change set here. So a change set, it's like the edit that you save like at once. So for instance, when you click this change set, it brings you to OpenStreetMap, and this is where you created the change set. Yeah. So my change set number is this one. So there are almost, let's say, 120 million change sets right now, currently, something like that. So yeah. So in let's say 4 minutes, you will see that your changes that you made are there in OpenStreetMap. So that's how you go about easily on the mapping process. So I'll just
there's a question.
Yeah, I'll take some questions, then we.
There's a question from Rose. How do you make a satellite layer?
Yeah, okay, awesome. Yeah, so again, we have this, as I said, I try to share a little things as basic as possible for beginners, but also while you're proceeding, there are some changes that, like there are some improvements that you'll see when interacting with OpenStreetMap. So thank you for that questions, how you make satellite images. So what we call that is background settings. So the background, like which imagery are you using, for instance? So we have several sources. Let's say we have Bing, we have Maxa, we have, let's say S3, all that. So on this far right here, you have your background settings here. So from here, you can choose which kind of background would you want to use. So I was using in the demonstration, I was using Bing imagery, aerial imagery. So like, let's say, let me choose another one. So there are a lot of sources here you can find. So let me use, let's say, Maxa. So by clicking Maxa, you can see the background is changing. And so this depends actually on the availability of those satellite imageries or the improvement of those satellite images at your location. So you can find Maxa is more recent than Bing. So when mapping with Bing, maybe you can find here there was no building, but with Maxa there is a building. So that's an update, like the satellite imagery more recent or that. So after doing that, there are also other things like setting display options. Let's say the brightness, all that, and the contrast, all that, saturation. How do you want that to appear so that you can see clearly the image, the sharpening. So if you find this is more conducive to you, you can use that doing the mapping, like, yeah. So I hope I've answered that question.
A moment. Like some of the options that were displayed on the map are not displayed on my PC. I don't know if it's due to network or what, but some of those options are there.
Oh, yeah, sure. On the background, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So again, that's the easiest way. Like you're in this interface that you're ready to edit, there are some settings that you can do, and those settings like also you can find them on the on here on the background, or pressing B as that. So Rose, so there are some images that you couldn't find here, right?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, in time, I think there will be displayed. That's not a challenge. You can start with what you have. Mapping as we proceed, as I said, giving out everything in a session of 2 hours is some kind of a challenge. So, any other questions? Because I'm out of time. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there's a question from Cyrus Kazadi. He's saying he's facing challenges logging into his account.
Yes.
Cyrus, you can come on board and speak up if you can.
I'm facing a challenge. Like I've created the account, but then if I want to log in, it's saying that the username is not correct. Sometimes the password. So I don't know how to go about that.
So, as I said, it may be the first thing. It may be because the username, as I said, is very case sensitive. So make sure that like what you tried to put is the same thing. Don't leave a space if you didn't, or if you started with a capital letter, don't start with a small case letter, lowercase letter. Sorry. So to do that, I think it's very easy also to if you've forgotten the username and the password, it's very easy to get your OSM account back. What you need to do is just go where it says, okay, let me just demonstrate that. I think everyone can see that screen. So while trying to log in here, yeah. So here in the down bottom where you put your password, it says where you might, I mean, like lost your password. It's asking you that. If you do that, it will just ask you to put your email address where you got that confirmation email, and it will be back to you, and you'll be able to reset your password and know your username right away. So I think that will be helpful.
Oh, okay, let me try and do that.
Okay. Awesome. Any other question, please? Mr. Chori.
Yeah, any other question, team? Any other question? I think we are remaining with 20. Yeah, we're remaining with 20 something minutes.
I have a question. I
Yes.
have a question.
Yes,
What
Daka?
if someone created a layer of a shaper in a very funny way? Is there a way in which the OpenStreetMap community will verify that layer?
Sorry, come again.
Let's say someone created a layer in a very funny way. The person didn't digitize the layer properly. Is there a way in which the community will verify that layer properly? Such a person won't be able to publish that layer.
Yeah, sure. I think, yeah, I've shared my screen again. Answering that question is that, yeah, because this, there's something what we call the validity of the data, validation. So what you're asking is that when someone edits and has made a mistake, is there a way that OpenStreetMap try to collect that data? So it's a yes, because what we do first is someone contributing the data. So in OpenStreetMap, you can do that contribution. But to make a lot of to make that impact, there is a what we call a tasking manager. Let me just have my presentation back here. Yeah, it's something that I wanted to share, but I think we're out of time. But let me just do that in 5 minutes so that you can know how this goes about. So the thing that we are doing is going to OpenStreetMap, having your account, and get started mapping. But in order to make, in order to get involved with more opportunities, like get involved in mapping projects, there's this what we call, Mr. Chole tried to explain. It's called the Humanitarian OpenStreetMap Team. So there is Humanitarian OpenStreetMap Team Tasking Manager. So where projects are hosted. So like so let me just again, sorry. Stop sharing. And show, yeah. So what I was trying to say is, for instance, just want to open the tasking manager real quick. So I'll share also the link on this. Also, it's called the hot tasking manager. So I'll just put that link on the chat. Control copy and share that on the chat. Yeah, so you can just, so this hot tasking manager, it's another tool that helps organize the mapping process so that you cannot have conflicts, like someone is mapping here at the same time and the other person is mapping the same building at the same time, and also gives room to do those collection, to do the validation of the edits that are done. So for instance, if I click this explore projects, so again, in OpenStreetMap Tasking Manager,
your screen is off, please.
Oh, okay. Let me try. Okay, let me try sharing that again. I'll share that. Yeah, I think it's coming. Yeah, let me know.
Yeah, we can see it now.
Okay, awesome. So this is what I was talking about, and the link I've just sent it in the chat. So we have the OpenStreetMap Tasking Manager, hot tasking manager, sorry. So again, when you come to this platform, at first you need to log in, not sign up, because you already have your OSM username. You don't need to sign up again in the tasking manager. So simply you have to log in. So basically what it will ask you, the username or the email address, and as well as the password, just as how you logged in OpenStreetMap. So after that, it will ask you to authorize the permission to use your account. So you say grant access, and there you will have your username here. And as again, when you start, you become a beginner mapper. As you go on, you become an advanced mapper and learn a lot of skills in the process. So while exploring the projects, like clicking this tab, exploring the projects, you'll find out that there are projects that are conducted. So for instance, even at your chapter, maybe you'll have a grant, all that, or you can try hosting a project. There's a way to do that, and I'll be able to help you in that. So organizations come here in this in the tasking manager and try hosting the mapping project. So where volunteers can come and map. So from this, you can find different levels of mapping projects. There are projects where allow beginner mappers to do the mapping, where intermediate are allowed, and as well as advanced mappers. So in this tab, you can find that there are almost like three color layers. So in this, I'm in the intermediate project here, 12495, is that this shows that there's a certain percentage of tasks needs to be mapped, hasn't been mapped already. So you can contribute here if you are an intermediate mapper. And this is a progress. This dark line shows that how the mapping process goes. So for instance, here it's near to be completed. And this red line is the validation process. Is that from the mapping that is going on, there are other people who are, we call validators, come and validate the other tags that other people map. So whenever you make all those, like you don't tag, someone can come and try to tag them, and also share some tips along the way to you as a mapper or volunteer to enhance your mapping skills. So when you open up, for instance, that project there, to show the location, and here you have a chance to contribute. So for instance, the description of the project is stated here, and the contributors are named here, and also so by clicking, let's say what we call contribute, you'll have a chance to contribute on those posts. So what I was talking about, the tasking manager, there are this the map has been divided into tasks like this. So you can choose a task and map that selected task. So this task and the legend states here, like when you see this color, this green color, it's that the task is finished. That has already been mapped and has already been validated. In this blue, that the task has been completely mapped and but not yet been validated. In this white task is that the map hasn't been mapped, so it's available for mapping. While selecting that, here from this task, you can notice that there are other tasks which are locked. So it says that there are other mappers that are continuing that process. And so you need to select a task that it's not locked. So if I select this task, let's say I'm mapping that task, sorry. I'm using JSON, so I need to change my editor here. So I change my editor to ID editor. So let's say I select that for mapping. It will just open like that in OpenStreetMap, point line, all that. But the main difference here, it tells me that we have what we call this boundary, that I'm not allowed to map beyond this boundary here. So by that said, I think when you zoom in like here, I find the edit, you just do that like what I demonstrated. Like, sorry. So I select area, map on one corner, the next corner, I click on the last corner, I press Q, I tag first as a building and press Q. So that's my first edit. So upon doing the task like this, when you have a task like this, there are what we call, let's say, completion, like in this completion aspect. So that here are the instruction on how to map, which can help you. Here is the history. Let's say someone came, did the mapping and left, all that. So you get the history if he had the comment or activity. So upon the completion, if you mapped everything here and you see that everything is correct, you press yes and submit. But before submitting as well, you need to save those edits. So for instance, let me just save that mine. So the change set comment there, it's where in OpenStreetMap, while you're just doing that free mapping, you may write it on your own, but if it's in a project, it's already there for you. And also the hashtag are there, so just upload that. So upon completion of uploading that change set that you made, here you will find that if the task, like you mapped everything on this task, you say yes if you completed and submit. So in the legend, it will be marked that the task is complete. If you press no, then the task will be highlighted that it will be white, that it will be available for other mappers to come and contribute. So for my case, I've not completed anything, so I'll just submit that. So also from this tasking manager, you can tell about the contribution, your contribution personally, like how many hours you spent, how many buildings you've added, your timeline, like did you map today, yesterday, all that. So, and also like you mapped how many tasks, you validated how many tasks and all that. So this is another tool that organizes projects for mapping. So while like your questions, like anyone who made those errors may be collected if it's hosted in a project and someone needs to use that data. So that tells you like whenever you need to use data for projects in OpenStreetMap, there are volunteers mapping, but then in order to use that data to be safe, I think the quality should be assured. So like the quality, their assessment, so that's we call it validation, should be validated and then ready to be used for, let's say, analysis and other kind of processes. So in this minute, I've just dived in something that I was not supposed to, but I think it has helped you guys a lot. So with that said, I think, yeah, Mr. Chole, welcome. If there's another question, please.
Yes, please. If there are any other questions, guys, we can ask. If there are those who remained behind, can raise our concerns now. Questions, concerns, contributions. How is the mapping going? Those of us who are mapping.
Yeah, so just a question, if you have successfully mapped even one building, you can just say yes on the chat. Yeah, that will be helpful for me just to see like you guys were.
Yeah. Those of us who've mapped at least one building. Remember, great work. Those of us who've mapped even just one building.
I'll call you again.
Angela, nice work. Let's see those comments coming, guys. Who has mapped something? Evans, great work. Great, Cosmos. Good. Patrick, great
Nice
work.
one. Yeah. So as you go from the session, I just wanna wind up on the training. Is that as you go on your daily activity, you can try getting familiarized with that mapping, like what we did today. I know there are a lot of stuff that you need to get knowing in the process. So just keep on doing that, because in the next coming, let's say, sessions, we'll be having some tasks to do the mapping and track anyone's mapping and volunteering. The edits that everyone makes, so that that will be more efficient in that way. So yeah.
Great.
Thank you, Mr. Torre.
There's a question from Joshua. He's saying,
Oh,
is it possible to change OSM username?
Nope. That is upon request, I think, but currently, nope. That's your only OSM username. It's just there. And the good thing about that is that whenever you lose it, you can get it back. So I think there's no need of changing that.
Yeah.
I don't think. Yeah. Thank you, Joshua, for the question, though. So also, I just wanted to invited some people from Tanzania. Joshua is among of them. So yeah, Joshua can say hi.
Yeah. Let's get to hear from you, Joshua.
Just hi will be fine. Yeah. I think he's unmuted. So I'm sure you can just proceed with.
Okay. Thank you very much, Eric, for the wonderful training. I think, team, we've done part of the work. There's still a lot to learn. It's a process, like Eric said. We can't get everything in one day. We can't grasp everything in one day, but at least we've gotten the skeleton. And we have a main WhatsApp group. So as we keep on practicing, let's make use of the WhatsApp group. You can either share in the WhatsApp group. If you experience a problem, you can take a screenshot and share in the WhatsApp group so that other people can learn, and at least it will keep the WhatsApp group busy. We also have a Facebook page that we just created recently. I think it's a day or some hours old. So it is up and running right now, and I'm looking forward to each one of you who is on this call following that page, because we're going to be posting most of our content on that page. So we are going to reshare the Facebook page again in the WhatsApp group and other platforms, other WhatsApp groups that we have in school. So we'll share it, and please share the WhatsApp, the Facebook page, and make sure people join it and follow it. And then the other thing is our secretary might have been overwhelmed. Maybe she missed out a number or a contact line of you guys who are on this call. So we've requested that you send your details in the main WhatsApp group, because we are going to be making a follow-up on you guys. And also there is going to be some token of refund on the bundles as we proceed. So we need those contact lines, and we need the OSM usernames. We have taken note of people who have been on the call, so we've also gotten screenshots, but we also need you to verify and forward your full details in the main WhatsApp group, so that at least we have that full list. So unless there is another question or concern, I think we are remaining with 9 minutes. We are going to, if there's a question or concern, is Mr. Chomba still on the call? Okay, Chomba is not on the call. I think he's going to be joining soon. Let me call him. I think we need him to say 1 or 2 words. Yeah, is there any other word or two that anyone has to say?
Yeah, well, if there's that room, I would have to use. So, guys, thank you so much for.
Okay. Before you leave, I think if it's possible, let's take a group.
Yeah,
a group picture. We need to post this on our Facebook page. This is one of our first.
Yeah, that's nice.
First trainings this year. Those of us who are able to turn on our cameras, we can turn them on. Yeah, good to see you. Let's put some faces yeah, let's put some faces on these names. Yeah, nice to see you, Rose, Cosmas. Yeah, nice to see you guys. Okay, we are going to take some pictures.
I'm sorry, I'm in a rest.
No problem.
I'm sorry, I'm in a rest.
No problem.
This is going to be fun.
Okay, so I'll count on 3. We'll take a pic. So 1, 2, 3. Let's do cheese.
Cheese.
Great.
Will you have that?
Yeah, we've captured.
Awesome.
We've captured. Thank you very much.
I hope you didn't capture me in motion. I hope you didn't capture me in motion because it will end in motion.
Thank you very much, you guys. So one other point is that we are going to be having our second part of this training, which is going to be held on Thursday this week. So we look forward to seeing every one of you who joined us, because we're going to be proceeding from where we ended, and we'll look at mapping now with the JOSIM. So we need every one of you on that call, and